Yo, what's up guys? This is Adrian and welcome to another episode of Hybridicious. Before I begin, I'd like to let you guys know that this episode probably will be a bit shorter. For those of you guys that don't know, I actually did have surgery 2 days ago and basically my jaw is really sore right now, so I probably won't be able to talk for too long. But I still wanted to upload a Hybridicious and kind of stay in that flow of uploading 1 to 2 episodes every week. So for today's hybrid, I decided to do a 3-5-2 U21 squad, and basically any player under the age of 21 was fair play. But of course, you guys know me. I like to be original. I like to use new players. And for most under 21 teams, you're thinking of El Shaarawy, Hazard, Neymar, and I find these players are really overused, and I wanted to be original and maybe use some players which you guys might have not heard of. So I decided to do an underrated U21 squad, and it was actually really fun. So let's get started with the player description. In net, we had Hansen. Now, guys, when you do make such a specific squad and you do limit yourself to not only players under the age of 21, but they have to be underrated, you will have some weak spots, and of course, Hansen was that weak spot. He costs around 1K. I'm not exactly sure why he's so expensive. I believe he's actually really rare. When I went to go buy him, there's only 2 on the market, so of course there is something going on with his card. But as you guys can see, a very average keeper, and he did let in a lot of shots. So I would definitely recommend getting Sorensen from the Premier League as opposed to him. But if you do want to keep the full U21 squad and not cheat, I would, you'd probably would have to use them in order to maintain that 9 chemistry. Then we move on to Sorensen, 6'4" center back from Bologna. Only 400 coins, very, very cheap. I was very happy to find this guy. Of course, decent stats with 66 pace. In game, 70 sprint speed and 83 positioning. He reminds me a lot of Mats Hummels just in terms of the way he defends. His positioning, his height, and his ability to stop the aerial attacks. So a very solid defender and a very good player to have in the middle of any defense. And then we move on to Munoz. Munoz, another very solid Serie A silver defender, of course, only 6'1", so he's not as tall as Sorensen, but being on the outside, he didn't have to deal with too many headers. 70 sprint speed, just like Sorensen, and 87 strength. This guy is very strong. He's kind of like a bulldog. Reminded me a lot of Manuel. I'm sure you guys are very familiar with him. Just the way he defends, the combination of pace and strength is very deadly for a center back, and he was very fun to use. And then finally, we round off the defense with Musacchio. Now, Musacchio, only 5'11", not that fast and not that strong. I was really disappointed with the way he played. He does have 80 stand tackle, so if he did get a chance to tackle someone, he would. But overall, he was really, really average at best, and I believe the other 2 center backs were a lot better. But to be honest, he did do the job, and he did, okay, I guess. So then we move on to Wakaso as the central defensive mid. Now, normally I don't do this, but look at those in-game stats. That is ridiculous. This guy is insanely athletic. Back to his card, as you guys can see, 5'5", so he's not that tall. Preferably, you want your central defensive mid to be a bit taller. But once again, looking at his stats, 76 defending, very good on defense. I believe he has 79 interceptions, so he's always running around the field, making those interceptions and just making it very tough for your opposition to get any through balls or any build-up play whatsoever. So a very solid holding midfielder. And of course, having 2 holding midfielders or 2 defensively minded holding midfielders, it's not really my style. I like to attack a lot more. So I decided to convert Ramirez, who was originally a center attacking mid, to a central defensive mid. Now, of course, he's not normally playing this position, but I did have a custom formation, and basically he was pushed up a bit more above Wakaso. A very solid player. As you guys can see his stats, he's very, very agile. I believe he has 95 agility. And just the link-up play between Wakaso and Ramirez was absolutely terrific. Of course, Wakaso, more defensively minded. He'll make a tackle, pass it off to Ramirez. Ramirez using that 95 agility, getting by a few players, and then 89 short passing, a very good short passer. Of course, passing the ball up to my strikers and the attacking midfielders, and then obviously the offense goes from there. So a very solid player, and definitely worth the 18,000 coins which I paid. And then we move on to Salvio. Now, Salvio is originally set as a right wing, but of course you have to convert him to get that 9 chemistry. So you're looking to pay for around 2,000 coins for this guy, but a very fun player. 87 sprint speed, of course 4-star skill moves just the way I like it. Now unfortunately he only does have 3-star weak foot and he's right footed, so you can't really cut in. But I believe one of the goals I did score was with his left foot, so a decent finisher and a very fast player. And then on the left side we have a player who's very similar to him with Munyon, basically an identical player, very fast, 4-star skill moves, with the only exception is that he's right footed on the left side, so he can cut in and shoot with his preferred foot. A very fun player, and I believe he has 81 attack positioning, so really, really good offensively in terms of, being in position, right place, right time, and he's never really offside. So a very fun player to use and definitely worth the coins. Once again, you have to convert him from a left wing to a left middle. And then we move on to Sergio Canals, a very cheap attacking mid. Only 400 coins, which is an absolute steal for this guy. Of course, he doesn't have that much pace. But in game, he feels a lot faster. You guys will see a few goals where I beat 3, 4, 5 players with this guy, and he's definitely faster than 70 pace. I believe that is a huge lie. 4-star skill moves, and this guy has a killer free kick, a really good accuracy and curve, and just an overall really good attacking midfielder. Good passer and a very good creator to pass the ball up to my strikers. Of course, we move on to the attack, and at the right side we had Boyan, and oh my goodness, guys, is this guy amazing. In game, 90 dribbling and 88 finishing. This guy is absolutely fantastic. One of the best players I've ever used on Ultimate Team. Disregard the rating. This guy is a beast. There is no way he's rated 78. I think they made a mistake, maybe 88. That would be much more fair for this guy. 88 finishing, that is insane. Of course, 4-star skill moves, going back to his price. 3,200 coins, basically because he is originally set as a center forward. So you do have to convert him, and of course those cards go for around 4 to 5k. So I believe this was a great deal, and Boyan was a great player, definitely one of the best players I have ever used on Ultimate Team, and I am not being sarcastic. This guy is amazing. And finally, we round off the team with the inform Borini. Now, Borini goes for around 22,000. Not that expensive for an inform striker, of course. I believe he's one of the best silver strikers in the Serie A. 78 pace, 79 shooting, not that amazing, but in game, this guy is a solid finisher. I believe he has 90 finishing and 96 free kick accuracy. Now, unfortunately, guys, I found out about his free kicks after I finished getting the clip, so I didn't actually get to try his free kicks, but his finishing is amazing. Basically, all you have to know how to do is step overs, very tight ball control, get by a few players, and every chance that this guy got, buried it. Very good player and definitely worth the coins. So overall, guys, a very fun team to use. It was very unique in a sense that you're using some players which you normally wouldn't try. But the only downfall was the goalies. You guys can see 55 rated. Not that good. So if you guys do want to build the team, I would definitely recommend getting Sorensen. I believe he's in the Premier League. I think he's a 76 rated keeper. That way you still keep the 9 chemistry with all the players. And then another option could be getting a goalie from Bologna. I'm not exactly sure how good their goalie options are, but once again, guys, a very fun team to use, very inexpensive, and let's move on to the goals. So as you guys can imagine, after the surgery, I had loads of time to, play some FIFA and get some clips. So I did get some pretty decent clips with this team, but Sergio Canals right there, guys, 70 pace, nuh-uh, that's a complete lie. Finishing it off with his weak foot as well. For 400 coins, I don't think it gets any better. And then Borini showing off that 90 finishing. What a finesse shot. That is a beauty. About 22 yards out. Definitely worth the 22,000 coins, which I paid for him. So overall, guys, a very fun team. Now, I did play a custom in-game. It wasn't really your traditional 3-5-2. In a sense, it was more like a 3-1-4-2, with Wakaso being the sole defensive mid and Ramirez pushing up a lot further, but Salvio showing off his weak foot. That's a very solid finish from him. So once again, guys, a very fun team to use, and I think I'm going to leave it off there with the team. I did want to ask you guys a question, though. I believe it was last episode. The episode was 18 minutes. I was wondering if you guys enjoyed really long episodes. Now, this one, I did say it was going to be a bit shorter because my mouth hurts, but I love talking about Ultimate Team. It's ridiculous how much I love to talk about it, and I ended up going, I think this episode will be around 10.5 minutes. But if you guys enjoy the longer episodes, of course, when I did start this Hybridicious series, the episodes were like 5-6 minutes long. Now they're going to like 10. The last one was 18 minutes. So let me know if you do enjoy those long episodes. Of course, 18 minutes is really, really long. So of course, maybe not that long, but definitely let me know what you guys think about that. And finally, if you guys have any more suggestions for a series, right now, like in this instance, I do have an idea for a series. It's basically like a road to Hybridicious, where I would start off with a regular team, and I would basically, start off by trading off my team, making a hybrid, playing a few games, and of course I can incorporate different things like playing on full manual. That's something I've always wanted to do. So very similar to Japes' series, not exact, not a duplicate of his series. But I would have, hybrid squads only. Of course, all the stuff that you love about Hybridicious, just more in a series form. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure to check me out on Twitter if you have any other questions, and have yourselves a wonderful day.